what's up? Big Herc 916, positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know, we do it over here. I was working out the other day and I was listening to Anton Daniels. Shout out to Anton Daniels. He puts out some great videos about the black culture, black wealth, politics, just overall a healthy well-being, mental positivity. I like his message. He has a great message, very articulate, well-spoken. Anyways, he was talking about how toxic the black community is and how, black people, they are programmed to do certain things, and it's as though they cannot think outside that box, whether it be politics, whether it be viewpoints on certain things, certain things about the culture. Well, it's been like this, so it should stay like this, and just a lot of other topics, But one thing that resonated with me was when he said about the being lame if you're a square, and how in the black culture, it's looked upon as you're lame if you're square, if you're somebody who's intelligent, until you get to the point where you're balling, and then everybody in your family wants to be like, oh yeah, I knew you were gonna always make it, blah, 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 But, if you're growing up, a lot of kids, even in those households, are teased for being nerdy, for being different, Maybe the kid likes to study more than play sports, maybe he doesn't dress as cool as some of the other kids, but he knows multiple languages. These are the things in the community that hold back the potential, I think, in a lot of kids. And I say that because I've ran across a lot of smart, young black kids in the juvenile system, the prison system, and it's wasted talent, man. These guys, once they get to prison, they're sitting there, and you come to find out that a lot of the things they were doing was because they were trying to fit in, maybe, things they thought were cultural norms. So they were acting out a certain way, and they're actually really smart guys. A lot of them, guys who are, what they consider jailhouse lawyers, helping people get out of jail, doing things that regular attorneys can never do. Some of these other guys, just when you talk about writing, just great writers, very well spoken when they when they put the pen to the pad, and just talent, a lot of talent, smart with math. Some of these guys, were buying properties and doing things in the real estate market you wouldn't believe, but sitting in prison and then having to wait to get out to take advantage of these gifts could have been capitalized on a long time ago. But because the culture shuns a lot of times those who are smart or articulate as being square or lame, they missed the boat till it's too late, you know what I mean? And not to say there aren't ones who do capitalize on these opportunities, with family members or parents who understand that you don't have to, quote unquote, act a certain way to be black. They're able to win, but those ones aren't usually around the majority. A lot of times you will be the minority and you will face a lot of blowback, or you will feel like you're an outsider because of being that you're maybe the only black kid in an all-white school or a private school, whatever the case can be. And that's just what it is, At those institutions, those private charter schools, you will see a minority of black students there. And they will, be subject to certain types of behavior, but by getting that education, they will have an advantage. But, if they go around what's considered the regular neighborhood or, typical black culture, they will be looked at as being, different, weirdos, L7 squares, all these different name calling things, man, which is so stupid because you got the dude who's running around, thinking he's hard because maybe he sold a little drugs, or he's, had packed a pistol before, or, he's, knocked down a couple females. He's the man. This guy who's on his way to possibly having 2 or 3 different baby mamas because he's having sex with no protection and carrying an unregistered firearm. He's heading down a path already where he's going in the hole before he gets out of the hole. And, it's a sad reality, man. But that to me is just garbage, man. And it's the toxicity of black culture and just the image. And you see it when, you see these dating, these dating podcasts where, they do the balloons and they show this gentleman, well-spoken, maybe, ex-military, great job, maybe not 6'1" or 2, maybe not thugged out the game, but, a good dude, maybe in the church, and you see the women pop the balloons, and they pop them because as soon as he says God, or he doesn't come across as being a thug, he's discredited. They kind of, he's not my type. But you look at their type, most of these women have 2 babies by 2 different daddies, and they're young, under 30, not really career orientated. Just the situations there aren't really good for somebody if you're looking at, for a future, for a future spouse. So these women, they have these illusions of grandeur in the black community, but then the guy who's actually the good dude, he's taken advantage of, or kind of like, I would say pushed to the side for the thug dude who they had the baby with. And then they get mad and complain, but you have nobody to blame but yourself. You didn't have to let, every guy who went up in you skeet up in you. And so now you're stuck with these kids, but then you're still looking for a good dude, and that's your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault. And to the square guys out there who have sacrificed, you didn't go to jail, you actually took care of business, you didn't get caught up, man, you're a winner, man. Wasting years because you were out, being a gang member, preying upon your own people, bragging about the dirt you did in the street, most likely harming somebody that looked like you, and being taken away from your family, causing your mom and everybody else anguish. That's not a good thing, man. There's nothing to brag about that. I remember being in juvenile hall and just seeing the families coming up there to visit the young people in juvenile hall, and then my mom coming up there, and she's feeling really bad about coming up there because this isn't a place she wants to spend her time at. She'd rather see me on the street. And you got people there who are telling you what to do. It's basically grooming you to go to the pen, to have somebody look in your booty hole, squat and cough and all this stuff, and get used to dealing with politics of other men that look like you, trying to tell you how you do your program, where you should sit, where you should eat, catch and phase. That shit is stupid, man. That's the lamest shit, really. That's some lame ass shit. Black culture, and they don't want to talk about it. Dudes get out of prison and they talk about everything else, but they don't talk about how lame that shit is. You wasted time. You went in there and worked, for pennies on the dollar, and now you're on the streets and you're bragging about maybe what you did And most likely you did it, if it was a violent act, you can guarantee you did it against another black person. And now you think like, everybody should be praising that, bragging about however many kilos or whatever you sold, or however many, how much work, but then you did 20 years. And it's just like, it's ass backwards, man. And nobody calls it. Everybody brags about it. Every time you see somebody on these major platforms, it's always about gang banging on another dude that looks like you. And, oh man, this is that. And it's like, the cycle doesn't stop. So, this is for the people, the guys out there, the young black men who feel different, who feel like they don't fit in, who feel like they've been chastised because maybe they don't want to be that gangster, they don't want to be that gang member. They want to maybe learn how to play the violin. Maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to wear your pants up instead of down. Maybe you want to wear a collar shirt with a tie. Maybe you want to learn another language. Maybe you want to go study abroad. All these different things, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be somebody who's a professional and not a street person. There's nothing wrong with that. I remember I could have had the opportunity to study abroad, and I didn't really even apply for it, but I think it was at one of the colleges I was at, a junior college. And man, that would have took me in a whole nother direction, man. It gave me a whole nother life experience, and I missed out on it. But then I went and spent, 8-9 years in prison, man, with a bunch of dudes eating, top ramen and beef sausage, man. It's sad, man. It's sad our programs are warped minds, and you constantly don't realize you're fighting against a program. It is a program in the matrix that is being amplified through music, through algorithms, through social impressions. You got to fight it to not want to be in that group, and be ostracized and feel different and be around, maybe having a bunch of like Asian friends or European friends or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of times, when you go to different places, if you do see somebody that else is black, you'll realize that, he talks a little bit different, probably went through the same stuff you went through, and, was labeled as a square. Maybe his dad was an engineer or a doctor, maybe his mom was a lawyer or ex-military or whatever the case may be, but he grew up different, man. And there's nothing wrong with growing up different. There's nothing wrong with not being a person that has a body, or somebody that was a gang member, or somebody that was a thug. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's the misconception. We got to get past that shit, because it's destroying our young black youth. And there's a lot of other options besides playing sports and rapping. There's a lot of other options, man. I've seen where, one of the youngest people to get into Oxford was a little black kid, one of the youngest, people to get accepted. So there is a lot of young, smart black men out there, and black women, and we got to just get out of the whole name and calling and labeling, and realize that that's put out there to keep us stagnant, just like the handouts, just like how they started, when they create the welfare and getting the man out the house and all these different things to keep us dumbing down math and dumbing down these qualifications, and the DEI, all that stuff is all to dumb us down, to keep us right where we, where they want us to be, and that's being ignorant instead of being articulate and being able to compete at a level where we're worthy. So, the lame, man, shit. Laugh at the people who call you a lame, because they really lame. Because if you see they ass in jail in a couple years, that's some lame shit. That's some lame shit. If you catch a body over a female over something stupid, or over just being emotional because you ain't got no coping mechanism, that's lame, because you can't fight, so you shoot somebody. That's lame. That's some buster shit to me. I'm keeping 100 with you. Big Hertz 916 to pick up a limited edition GTA poster signed by me for $10, or with your purchase of a Wig Splitter Porsche t-shirt, I'll throw in a free poster signed, and pick you up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that Big Herc 916 is author.
Coming. I gotta hurry up and wash my ass. Go to BigHerc916.com, pick you up a bar of soap, and wash your ass, or else you're gonna be under arrest too. Oh shit.